Well, my good people, welcome back. Awkward Beginnings. This is the West Coast. Thank you, Compton Built. Man. My people's from Compton Made sent me this beanie, man. I appreciate it. To all my peoples out there in Compton. But I came to bring y'all a reaction that's probably gonna blow y'all mind, man. This is probably one of the craziest things I've seen online in a minute. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is a crazy one. So y'all hold tight for a minute and let me find this video for y'all. Yeah, this is a crazy one right here. You know what I mean? I don't even want to. I don't even. I don't even want to let y'all in on it yet. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just hold tight while I find this video for y'all. Like I said, this is a crazy mind blower. You know what I mean? One sec. Yeah, I'm trying to find the video real quick, y'all. Just kind of hold tight for a minute while I find this video. But this is a crazy one right here, man. Very very crazy. All right, you got it right here, y'all. Just hold tight for me. All right, we got it right here, y'all. Thanks for being patient, and let's get to it. Uh, like I said, y'all, awkward beginnings. If y'all can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe to it, man. This is law and crimes, right? This this woman at the door right here, she had sex with a 11-year-old student. Yeah, 11-year-old student, and the police is going to pick her up because she's in a lot of trouble. So let's get to it, y'all. I'm just as surprised as some of y'all are. You know what I mean? All right.
Your alley, right? Yeah. Okay. And it's going to be for predatory criminal sexual assault.
We have the newly released body camera video of the moment a substitute teacher is arrested for having sex with an 11-year-old boy. Allie Bardfield admitted to having sex with that boy and is now serving prison time. But she wasn't always honest in this investigation, and the body camera video proves that. I'll show you what she told detectives at her and how she blamed the victim in this case. We're on presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Allie Bardfield entered a guilty plea for having sex with an 11-year-old student of hers. It is a shocking story. And what's even more shocking is how she tried to play it when detectives arrived at her front door. Before I get to that body camera video, here is Bardfield in court in Macon County, Illinois, where all of this took place about 3 hours south of Chicago. This is the hearing where Bardfield admitted to abusing her student who is just 11 years old. But Bardfield wasn't always truthful to law enforcement in this investigation. This is the body camera video of the day that she was arrested in April of last year. Now, part of the audio is redacted, which is why you'll hear it drop out at times.
Okay.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, do it now.
Hi. Hey, how are you? Hey, is Allie home? Yeah. Okay. Sheriff's Office, and I'm assisting the department. How many are home?
3.
Man, I remember growing up, and I used to see stuff like that on the news. Other women that would have sex with the students. There was a lady that had sex with like a 10th grade student way back in the days. I used to be like, damn, why can't I be that lucky, man? You know, this always happens in the ghetto somewhere. Not in the ghetto, this always happens like in the suburbs somewhere.
Why? Okay, just you guys and the kids? Okay.
And
Because-
someone else.
Yeah, it's my brother. My brother is your brother. Okay. So here's the thing. We have a search warrant for the house. Okay. You know, you are going to be placed under arrest.
Me?
You're Allie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's going to be for predatory criminal sexual assault to grooming. That's why we're here, to take a look, to make sure we gather what we need out of the house. Okay.
For what?
Yeah, so I'll talk to you more about it in a second. Okay. As a matter of fact, if you guys want to go in and start,
She tried to act all surprised too. Like, what? Oh man.
Can I put the dogs up? Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, please.
We're gonna have to follow you in though,
Yeah.
just to make sure. Okay. You have
One's a German Shepherd, so
Okay. James, you want to stay here with me?
So you can see Bardfield acting confused and shocked as to why detectives are at her door accusing her of sexual abuse and grooming. This is going on around 4:30 in the afternoon on April 3rd, 2024. The day prior, detectives say an 11-year-old came to the police station with his parents saying Bardfield, his 6th grade teacher, sexually assaulted him. Bardfield worked in the Decatur, Illinois school.
She didn't look that bad either. You know what I'm saying? Look at her. She's a little cougar. But damn, you want an 11-year-old? Yeah. Crazy. It must be a shortage on desperate men out there or something.
School system. She was considered a long-term substitute teacher for the 6th grade class. She gave off the fun teacher vibes on social media. Here she is on TikTok with a young girl. Now, hours before her arrest, police say the 11-year-old boy did an interview with the talk about the abuse. Deputies also collected a sexual assault kit from the victim. Now, here's more of what the detective told Bardfield at her front door when she was arrested.
I'm going to explain some things to you, okay? First off, I have to read your rights, okay, so I can talk to you, okay? You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do will be used against you in court. You have the right to an attorney, and if you can't afford one will be appointed to represent any cost to you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been in trouble before?
Never.
Okay. I'm going to give you an opportunity to explain, but long story short is, okay, we've got a significant amount of evidence to include the conversation that you had with.
According to the court documents we have, at her front door, Bardfield denied having sex with the boy. The audio is redacted at that point, but you heard the detective say they had a considerable amount of evidence, including a conversation that Bardfield had. Now, he's likely talking about the conversation Bardfield had with the boy earlier that day, just hours before all of this happened, after his forensic interview. Police say that they and the boy's parents were listening in on a text, a voice call, and a FaceTime that Bardfield had with the young boy. They say during those
But it set her up real good. Man. Yeah, they probably gonna hang her.
conversations. Bardfield talked about birth control and pregnancy. She also told the boy to delete text messages, and then they moved on to a phone call. And during that call, Bardfield told the boy that she could not get pregnant. She is talking with an 11-year-old. She is in her 30s. Now, police say on March 29th, 2024, Bardfield had that 6th grade student, her victim, over to her house. It was for a play date. That child's mom noticed her son acting differently after the visit, though. According to police, the mom then checked her son's phone and social media, and when they talked more about what happened, the boy said that Bardfield had sex with him. Not only did Bardfield reportedly have sex with that boy, she also sent him $700 on Cash App. She bought him headphones that go for more than $400. She also sent nude photos to him on Snapchat. Here's the moment Bardfield is led away.
Oh man, I wish he got him a cougar, you know what I'm saying? Pimping at 11, that's crazy.
After this story gets even more shocking.
I'm
Are
going to
you
talk to her
taking
real
my
quick, and
kids?
she'll be able to talk to me. No, I'll talk to you about that. So that lady is with these
Oh my
kids.
God.
Listen, no, but listen. With these kids, it doesn't mean she's taking your kids. Okay?
Make a nice show us secure out here.
We are going to give you, how you raise your kids and what goes on.
Oh my God, I'm not here my life.
Sit in the back because I want to be out of the wind and air. And I'm going to have you have a seat in this second vehicle here.
Showing registered 56 and a half and 300. OP revoked.
Which seat?
This up right up here.
Just so the OP has been served to him.
You good, buddy?
Yep.
You never see this happen at black schools or in the hood anywhere. You know what I'm saying? This always happens like up in the suburbs and the rich community, stuff like that. I've never seen this happen. And I'm gonna try to look and see, but I've never seen this happen with a black teacher before. You know what I mean? A black teacher with a black student. It's never happened. At least I've never seen it.
So here's the thing, okay? You work at Hope.
Bardfield then gets into a police vehicle to talk to detectives. The audio is redacted, but according to court documents that we have, this is what she said. At first, she once again denied having sex with the boy, but then the detective said he had seen the nude pictures that she sent the boy on Snapchat. And when asked why she would send nude photographs, a teacher in her 30s, to a boy just 11 years old, she said, quote, he kept asking and asking and asking and wouldn't leave me alone. The document also states that the victim had
So you fell for it. And he didn't call nobody when he asked you for nudes? Come on, man. This is crazy.
sent the teacher explicit pictures. Well, if you ever notice how some habits just sneak into your day without you even realizing it, for a lot of people, that means reaching for something on autopilot because you're stressed or run down, even though you know it's not good for you, which is why I want to tell you about our sponsor, Fume. It's an award-winning flavored air device that is great for combating oral fixation and fidgeting. It delivers great taste as your usual pick-me-up without any harmful chemicals. And instead of inhaling vapor, you simply breathe in natural, non-toxic flavors that satisfy the craving without the downside. Fume is not about quitting. It's about replacing. It's a flavored air device that gives you the same hand-to-mouth habit, but without the downsides. And there's no vapor, no nicotine, just natural, non-toxic flavors. One thing I think you'll really like is the design, a sleek wooden piece. It feels great in your hand. It has some magnetic fidget features that are very satisfying, perfect for when you're stressed or you need something to keep you focused. Plus, it's portable. You can take this anywhere. One flavor a lot of people are big on is crisp mint, super refreshing and perfect for keeping you sharp throughout the day. But there are tons of flavors to pick from, so you can find the one that fits you best. Over 500,000 people have already made the switch to Fume as part of their habit change journey. So if you're ready to try it for yourself, now is the time. For a limited time, if you order the Journey Pack using my code, you'll get a free Fume topper, which is a great accessory to level up your experience. Click the link, tryfume.com/lawandcrime, or scan the QR code on your screen to get yours today. In the body camera video that the audio is redacted from, we can see the moments in this conversation inside the cruiser that police are laying out the evidence they have against her. And you can put her head in her hands as she realized.
Yeah, that's when she realized she was hung. There's no way out of this. She's in trouble. I bet after that point, she wasn't lying anymore.
Is what her fate is likely going to be. It is notable that Bardfield tried multiple times. Boy made advances on her, that all of this was the 11-year-old's fault. At the end of this part of the conversation, Bardfield, according to court documents, was asked about how she was feeling. And she replies, quote, "I have my criminal justice degree. I'm in my master's program. This isn't how I want my life to be. But I didn't want the victim to feel uncomfortable as I felt uncomfortable. But I was just trying to act like nothing happened and just be there." At the end of the conversation in the cruiser, police say that Bardfield threatened to take her own life. She was then handcuffed and taken to the county jail. And from that moment on, Bardfield was held without bond. Per WAND TV, here's the moment the judge at her first court appearance told her what the punishment could be for the charges that she faced.
It's a Class X felony, punishable by 6 to 60 years in the Department of Corrections. That would be served at 85%.
6 to 60 years? Whoa. You know, she's a Caucasian woman. Probably gonna be looking closer to the 6 with halftime. You know what I'm saying?
Followed by a mandatory supervised release of 3 years up to natural life and up to a $25,000 fine. It is not a probation eligible offense. And if convicted, you would have to register as a sex offender for the rest of your natural life.
Then in August of this year, Bardfield pleaded guilty to having sex with that boy. The state is now asking for a max 40 years in prison in this plea deal, opposed to the 60 years that she could have faced if found guilty at trial. As far as the Decatur Public School District, where Bardfield worked, I reached out for comment.
She's finished. Yeah, she's out of here.
In the wake of her guilty plea. They told me since they weren't a party in that criminal case, they wouldn't comment. They did fire Bardfield after her arrest. The victim and his family, though, are suing the school district.
Of course they fired her.
And they claim what happened was not an isolated incident. I spoke to Asim Cunningham, who's representing the family, and this is what he said about his lawsuit.
What they really, really want to take place, though, is that other kids and other families who may have been a victim of this woman's acts to feel confident that if they come forward, that we can, hold the school district accountable for the lack of
They got a black lawyer. I wonder if this kid was black. I don't know, man. That's crazy.
Provision that resulted in Ms. Bardfield being able to commit these acts.
And does the family believe that there are more victims of Allie Bardfield?
I can't speak for the family directly. There has been information that has come to light, some of which has been put into the complaint against the school district that leads us to believe that there may be more victims of Miss Bardfield, and there are likely more victims of abuse and harassment by faculty in the Decatur public school system against students.
When Bardfield was arrested, she said, according to court documents, that no other people would be coming forward.
Look, they not even handcuffing her. If that was a black person, they'd have had 2 pairs of handcuffs on them. They probably would have had a sniper behind them, and they would have had them surrounded. Man, the system was crazy.
Saying that she sexually abused them. It's important to remember when she was confronted with these allegations, it wasn't until detectives laid out their evidence that she admitted what she was saying originally was a lie. She'll be sentenced on September 25th. Joining us now to talk about this is prosecutor and former Deputy Attorney General of Ohio, Mark Weaver. Thank you as always for being with us on Law and Crime. If you were a prosecutor on this case and you watched that body cam video of Allie Bardfield, what would stand out to you?
Well, it's very good body cam footage. We can see exactly what happened.
She looked guilty. I know she was caught off guard for one, but just the look in her eyes, man, she looked guilty. It's crazy.
The sheriff's deputies were extremely professional in the way they executed the search warrant. She gave it up pretty quickly. She told the truth pretty quickly. Initially, she denied having sex with this child, but pretty soon when they let her know, recorded calls, they had text messages. There's a great case here. I wish all of the sex cases that I prosecute had as much evidence as this one. This is a pretty airtight case.
Because when you look at, she'll be sentenced later this month. And, in the beginning, and we watch it now in hindsight, knowing the evidence that prosecutors and detectives had in this case, and there was a lot. And she initially is like, well, I've never been in trouble. Like my house, me, and then she, after that, seems to almost blame the victim a bit, saying that he was the one who wanted explicit messages, which
They walked her to the car with no handcuffs on. They pretty much let her walk to the car, made her feel comfortable. I'm pretty sure they didn't take her kids. If that was a black family, they would have took the kids. They would have treated this like DEFCON 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, black people, man, we get treated so crazy, man.
it's like we're talking about an 11-year-old. It's so hard to wrap your mind around. How could those statements made back in 2024 impact how a judge goes forward with whether accepting this plea deal and giving her the maximum, which I believe the state is asking for 40 years?
Yeah, the top end is 40 years. It could have been 60 years, depending on whether some of these counts would have merged and how many different sexual encounters there were. A jury would have hated her when they found out that she essentially claimed that this child, this 11-year-old little boy, a sixth grader, was somehow the instigator. A judge won't like that either. I'm going to guess that her defense lawyer is going to coach her up ahead of the sentencing.
I wonder, all right, in men prisons, if you go to jail and you have sex with a minor female, they're gonna beat you up. They're gonna probably put you in PC. I wonder if it's the same thing for women prisoners. You know what I mean? If the women prisoners are the same toward women that abuse kids or molest kids.
Have her come in there and reel back in any notion that this was the child's fault. But this is what we see with some of these sex predators. They don't see that what they're doing is wrong. They're just acting out their fantasies. They're being the person they want to be. And mind you, she's got a degree in criminal justice and is working on a master's degree. So the notion that she doesn't know somehow that this is illegal,
she ain't gonna be working on that degree no more,
is preposterous.
It really is. And preposterous is a good word, because just reading through the court documents and the affidavit, and you see some of the statements she's making, and you're just like, what planet are you living on? Frankly, just hearing it, and even the line where she talked about having a criminal justice degree, and she's like, I just wanted to make him feel comfortable, or something on those lines. And you're like, what is, just as far as not from the legal standpoint, you're like, what are you talking about? When it comes to that hearing, and if she does give this emotional, statement in front of the court, how could that impact what the judge decides? Because often, I see those hearings and the judge, it looks like he looks over something for maybe a couple minutes and then makes his decision. Is that impact, could a statement from her, even if it's really good, have on what her sentence could be?
I've been in front of a lot of judges sentencing a lot of sex offenders over the years. And these judges typically come into the sentencing hearing with their mind made up. They have written out the words they have to say in order to make sure that the sentence sticks. And occasionally something of
Well, what's on the mind of women like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't find a man. But even an 11-year-old, crazy. Like, what did you think you were going to get out of this kid? You know what I'm saying? Like, he couldn't have known what he was doing. He probably didn't even know how to work his private part yet. That's just crazy, man.
victim says or something the defendant says, you'll see the judge adjust it, reach over with a pen and maybe scratch something out or maybe fill in a blank. But most with an idea of what they want to do before they even set foot, and then only in these marginal cases do they change it. Judges are also really good at seeing through sort of courtroom conversions, right? When you read what she said she admitted to, and when you watch the footage of the warrant call the police did, that's when you see the real person. The person in court has been, properly dressed and properly coded from a script. Good judges know that the way the defendant appears in court is often a put on.
So she'll end up, 20 years off of what she could have received as the max if she was found guilty if she took this to trial. I mean, just reading through the court documents of all the evidence, I mean, just even extending explicit pictures, which police have, to an 11-year-old boy, why make a deal when it seems like you would have had her dead to rights if you were a prosecutor?
In nearly every case where a prosecutor pleads a child sex case out, it's two basic reasons. One is certainty of conviction, which I think would have been present here anyway. But more important,
I mean, she's going to get convicted. She pretty much gave up when she was being questioned. She tried to lie at the beginning, but once they laid down the evidence and stuff, she pretty much gave it up. So they may give her a deal, being that she didn't try to fight. She pled guilty. She's probably going to plead guilty. They got her dead bang. She can't lie about this. It's not looking good for her at all. It's crazy. I remember growing up, though. I remember thinking, like, damn, where the hell are the teachers that does this type of stuff? How come they're not in my school? How come all the teachers in my school look like old cafeteria ladies and stuff? You know what I'm saying? They all old and messed up looking. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
not making an 11, he's probably 12-year-old boy soon, sit in a witness stand in front of a bunch of strangers and say what happened in the most embarrassing thing in his life. You're always trying to protect the child from re-victimization. And that's a key thing. This woman is not going to get 40 years. And I'm not suggesting what she did was good. I've prosecuted all sorts of people who molested children all the way down to as young as 2 years old. And given this circumstance, the judge will not send her for 40. She will get 10 or 15. I don't know the judge, but that's
what I was saying. I was saying she may get a dime or something like that. You know, they're not going to give her 40 years. She's a white woman. This is America. It's just not going to happen. That's not the way law works. Now, if that was a black woman, she's out of here.
Would be more typical for a one victim child sex offender like this woman.
Even if it's one where because I'm sure for people, I mean, that's a max of 40 years.
Look at her, man. She don't look bad at all. You know what I'm saying? She probably just lonely, you know, out there thinking that nobody would tell, you know what I'm saying? And probably thought it was between her and him. And she went for it, you know what I'm saying? It's great. And she invited them over to the house. It's crazy, man. And they're going to sue her and win, too, because of all the evidence. Oh, this may be the end of her life. When she gets out, she'll never be able to teach again. You know, she's going to have to start her life over again. And I believe she got kids also, you know, so they may send the kids to the father, you know what I mean? It's not looking good for her at all.
And then if a judge goes down to 10, and what impact could the fact that she was power to, you know, and anybody who is an adult who's accused of these crimes or convicted of these crimes, I mean, they had a position of power over a child, but I mean, she was an educator, she did it. How does that factor into how some of these cases play out in terms of the sentencing?
Yeah, Chris, I want to be clear. I'm certainly hoping she gets a longer sentence. I've just observed enough of these over the years, and the judges have as well.
Man, y'all know she ain't gonna get that much time. Knock it off.
Well, I prosecuted a child sex offender a year or two ago who had sex with his girlfriend's young daughter every day over several months, 7 days a week over several months. And he got 32 years, 34 years. I'm just comparing that there are degrees of sex offenders out there, but your point is well taken. Somebody who has sex with an 11-year-old should go to prison, and a teacher who has sex with an 11-year-old should go to prison for even longer. She has a special responsibility to not victimize these children who the parents placed in her care.
Right. And that's the part of it too, where it just seems
Right. They trusted her, you know what I'm saying? They trusted her around the kids. That's one thing, man. Like when we take our kids to school, we expect them to be in a safe environment. Same thing with churches or daycare or anything like that, man. We expect our kids to be in safe, where we can trust the authorities, you know what I'm saying? But, we're in America, man, and, it's messed up.
it's like it's this facade almost. It's so hard to comprehend, especially when it's a teacher or someone like that. And I had great teachers. I mean, I think we all have, but then there's just so many of these cases that come up. In your career, what have you seen as far as trying to understand why some of these people will cross a line and frankly blast right past through a line where suddenly they're in a situation like Allie Bardfield is?
Part of it is technology. Evil has always been with us since the fall of mankind. So evil's always been around, but the technology allows that evil to permeate in a way it didn't 50 years ago. So when I was a kid, a big moment would be running into your teacher at the grocery store. Like that would be the contact you have. You'd see the teacher in school, and then once in a while you'd see him out in the real world. Now with Snapchat, which she said she was using, and all these other social media devices, and parents who give young children phones and let them take them into the room and close the door, there is a pathway for this evil to take its path towards molesting a child. And then all you have to do is come up with a reason. Let's have a play date, or I'm going to go drive this child somewhere, or I'm going to invite them over. So technology doesn't cause it, but technology allows it to happen in a way that wasn't true 50 years ago.
Because it stood out to me too in the court documents that we have, where she said that she put her phone number up on the wall at school for the 6th graders. And that felt like something of crossing a line, where it's like I could see her giving her phone number to parents, but then giving all these 11-year-olds your phone number. And then she's on Snapchat and on TikTok and on all these different apps. It was, for a teacher, that was a major crossing of the line. There's a
Right. She definitely crossed the line.
civil lawsuit that's playing out right now from the victim's family to the school district. But if, say, a civil suit finds that certain things were not done by the school, they haven't had comment on either the civil or criminal case. But what type of investigation is typically done of a school district after a teacher like this is found guilty to make sure that there isn't some systemic issue within that school district where this could happen more?
Two primary ways of holding schools are accountable. Number one is through the civil lawsuit process, where they're going to have to pay money for if they were found to be negligent. And number two is the regulatory process. Whatever Illinois does to regulate schools like this, that ability to take away their school license exists. Rarely is anybody at a school charged criminally for an act that they did not know about. If this school had policies saying don't do this, if it had training, and now there's some indication she might not have taken the training, but if they had training saying don't do this, that is typically enough to keep us criminally charged. As a prosecutor, I'm not interested in what the school did unless one of those
Training, that doesn't matter. If somebody's freaky and they have a problem in their mind, you know what I'm saying? They're going to do stuff like that. I don't care how much training, torture, whatever. A freak is a freak, and they're going to do freaky type stuff. So training is not going to do nothing. You know what I mean? You just got people in this world that are messed up. When they're messed up in the head, they're jacked up. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing that we can do about it. It's times we're in. People are messed up. Some people shouldn't be teachers. Some people shouldn't be police. Some people shouldn't be daycare instructors. It's messed up, man. And there's no way to just look in a person's mind and see if they're jacked up like that. You know what I'm saying? Sad.
administrators knew and then didn't tell law enforcement, then I'm very interested in talking to that person and potentially charging that person.
And in your career, when you've had to prosecute sex cases like this with sexual predators, when we think of a sexual predator, there's probably a stereotype that comes in of a man mostly doing it. But then in some of these cases with teachers, you see, in her case, she's in her 30s. She's a young woman who's teaching in school. I mean, have you seen a profile? How does the profile vary of the predators in these cases, maybe beyond the stereotype that for a long time of when someone thinks of what a sexual predator actually looks like?
Yeah, there's not a profile that's going to help parents at all.
Yeah, nobody knows what these type of people look like. You can't tell, It's not like there's a sign on their forehead that says "Don't trust me" or nothing like that. They look like normal, everyday people. You know what I mean? You just never know until it happens. That's the sad part. These people that are like this, they're probably the best talkers in the world. They know how to talk to people. They know how to fool people. And they fool all of us. It's crazy.
But you are right that there are instances of we call them good guy predators, people who are otherwise nice and kind to your children, people who were involved in your child's life in a positive way on the one side, maybe showing up at their games and cheering them on or whatever, or giving them a high five when they get a good grade on the way out of the classroom. But on the other side, they're taking advantage and victimizing the child. And so parents just need to protect their children. And that means knowing what they're doing and enforcing. This is one of my rules. No adult can be talking to my child without me knowing that topic of conversation. And so this notion that, hey kids, here's my phone number, call me directly, that's inappropriate.
And what is it like for you? And I mean, you having prosecuted one of these cases recently, I think of a plea hearing day where, as a prosecutor, a lot of the work, it feels like it's been done. You were able to get a conviction. She's pleading guilty. She's going to go to jail for years. But what is it emotionally like for you waiting to hear what a judge is going to say as far as what that sentence is going to be?
Every time this has happened to me, I really feel for the victims. I meet with them before the hearing and almost always after the hearing. My heart goes out to them. So many people say to me, Mark, how can you prosecute these cases? They're so difficult. They're so tragic. It's because of the victims. It's because someone needs to stand up for them. And so on the day of sentencing, when I know I've already done my job, I might have already prepared my remarks. Some cases I might be reading the victim statement, or the victim might be reading the victim statement. So I'm certainly interested in what the judge is going to do, but I'm most interested in the victims being comfortable in the courtroom, having their day to say what they want to say, and then getting some small amount of closure.
Knowing that they did have the digital evidence of the conversation she had, the statements that she was even making. I mean, she admitted to it to law enforcement eventually. And then you have the nude photographs that were sent through Snapchat. Had this gone to trial, do you need to have the 11-year-old testify, or would there have been a way?
Nah, that kid don't need to testify. They got everything they need. You know what I mean? Like, they don't. Nothing. That case is already won for the prosecutor already.
Way to get the conviction without having to put the boy on the stand.
Her admission makes a big difference, right? Because if she had not admitted it, here's my problem though. I have seen juries go sideways for the dumbest things, right? And so they only need one juror. The defense only needs one juror to say not guilty, and the case hangs, and we start all the way over back at square one. And so I worry that one juror sits back there and says, how come we never heard from the kid? Where was that kid? And there's a way to explain it, when you have your victim's advocate on the stand, or you're investigating. Also, you don't re-victimize children, but jurors may want to see that. Not going to give her 40 years. So the notion of pleading it and then taking off 60 down to 40.
I promise you that. She may do 7, maybe 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
She's not going to get 40 years. It kept it well within the range of what the prosecutor would like to get anyway.
And then just lastly, Mark, because we do cover a lot of these stories with teachers who are accused and in cases convicted of sexual misconduct with children. And it would be easy to look at the media reports and say it's just happening more. Is this something that you feel like you're seeing more of, or is it just a case we're learning about it more?
A little bit of both. We are more of it because technology, as I mentioned before, allows teachers and students to privately talk to one another in what they think is a non-monitored setting. And then the other one is that it probably is happening a little bit more just because the mores of society is do what feels good, whatever makes you feel good. Love is love, no matter what. That attitude, when taken to its extreme, brings us to situations like this. I'm sure she didn't think she was perpetrating an act of violence. I'm sure she thought it was a very loving encounter. It wasn't. It was molestation. But in her mind, I'm sure she thought she was perfectly okay, notwithstanding the fact that she has a degree in criminal justice and the law says it's illegal.
And we had covered this story before. I had not read the part yet that she had a degree in criminal justice, which made this even more hard to make it more shocking than it already was. But that's definitely part of it. Mark Weaver, it's always great to have you on Law and Crime. Thanks for helping break this down for us. We appreciate it.
All right, y'all. What do y'all think about this, man? Very, very crazy case. Y'all can go for Law and Crime. Probably a couple of minutes left on this video, but yeah, I'm gonna stop it right there. But yeah, y'all go check that video out, man. It's a little weird, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all leave a message. Hit that like button and share the video if y'all can, and go over to Law and Crime and check this video out, man. It's a little sad, you know what I mean? But it happens, man. We're in America, and I'm never surprised about some of the things that happen here in America because there's worse things that's happened, And everybody protect their kids. Shout out to Compton again, my hometown. The Compton Made store. Y'all go check them out, and y'all have a great day. All right.